Hey, what's up, comic collectors? Welcome to a new episode, a brand new series, actually, where we're going to be talking about Nerd News Live. It's something I used to do on my channel. Now we're going to be doing it live probably every week. We'll see how this goes. I'm curious, how many people want to participate at this earlier time slot. I'm hoping we draw on some more viewers. That would definitely be fun. We do have a fantastic guest tonight. We have Dani Girl Comics here. She'll be joining us here in a minute. She's backstage right now, getting ready to join in. I did want to take a second before we bring in Dani and kind of focus on her for a little bit. I wanted to talk about the Super Chat prize for tonight. The Super Chat prize for tonight is this copy of Joker Year of the Villain #1. This is a 9/8 slab featuring a fantastic Harley cover there. Just really fantastic artwork by Ji-Hong Lee. Now, I don't want to lead anybody astray here. There is a bit of a crack on this slab. Dangerous Waters Comics and more donated these crack slabs, and we kind of figure, what, most people probably don't care about that crack too much. It doesn't really affect the value too much, and it's still a really cool slab for you. If you wanted, you could always go get it reholdered too. That's totally an option, of course. But this slab, I think it goes for about $175, $200 on eBay. So really nice Super Chat prize. We'll show it off a few more times tonight, but I just wanted to get a chance to show that off before we get into introducing our guest here. And tonight, just so you know, the topics real fast, we are going to be talking about the Star Wars Obi-Wan trailer that dropped, get into that a little bit, and we're going to talk about some really cool kind of spec news, first appearances, and MCU kind of casting news, I guess you could call it. So all kinds of fun stuff. But before we get into all that, let's bring in our special guest of honor tonight. I want to introduce her, making her YouTube live debut, which is really awesome. Everybody give a warm welcome to Dani Girl Comics.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Good. What's up, Bronze?
Not too much. Just enjoying this wonderful new comic book day. And I'm thrilled to have you here. It's so awesome that you're making your YouTube live debut. That's really fun. So thanks for coming over.
I am honored that you asked me.
Absolutely. Before we get into some questions to kind of give everybody a chance to know you, let's see who we have visiting in the stream. Let's check in with the chat. We got
right.
Big Russ.
Readers for this.
For sure. I just wear them all the time, even though that's really all these are. But it's just easier to wear them all the time.
Yeah.
But we got Big Russ in the chat. Big Russ is an awesome member of the community. I love that guy. Definitely glad to have him here tonight.
My friend, Big Russ.
For sure. Got Hernani in here. What's up, Hernani? Also a mod, so he'll be I can't talk. He'll be helping hold it down tonight. Got Department of Comics, which is definitely going to come up in this chat a little bit. Department of Comics is how Dani and I met. It's a fantastic Discord. It's a great place I'm going to recommend everybody check out. We do have a link in the description below if you want to go join that Discord, and we'll be talking a little bit more about some of the reasons why you might want to do that later on. Got K-pop in the house and Fight the Good Fight. So awesome. Got some fantastic peeps in the chat, and I'm sure more people will be hopping in and out as time goes on. But we do have a guest here. I definitely want to take a chance to get to know her a little bit. So Dani, I'm going to hit you with a real big softball here. Who is your favorite Marvel comic book character?
Ooh, I have two, which is going to be Wolverine and Miles Morales.
Oh, nice. You got a little snickety snick. You got a little spin action there too.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, Miles Morales is somebody who I've definitely grown to love as a character more and more. Wolverine, old time favorite. Couple good choices there. Question then, I guess let's kind of follow it up a little bit. Are you kind of like going for either character's first appearance? Those are two huge first appearances.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Wolvies is kind of, I would have to really be patient and find a raw copy of that. Probably the graded ones are they're out of my range, but okay. I do have a couple of Ultimate Fallout 4s for Miles. I got all the prints, first print, second print. And yeah, so Wolvie is a goal, but man, that's like years in the making.
That is a heck of a goal for sure. Yeah, it's on my list too. I was lucky enough. I actually had a channel subscriber send me a copy of Hulk 180, and that was one of the most emotional moments of my life. Yeah, that 181 though, that's definitely going to be hard to find in a raw, and I'm looking too. So I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Marvel. I get the sense, are you kind of a Marvel girl basically? Is that more your company?
Most of my collection is Marvel.
Okay.
However, I did jump into DC a little bit when I got back into collecting, which has only been like a year and a half.
Okay, doke. So then on the DC side, who do you root for on the DC side?
You know what? I dig Damian Wayne. I mean, you see it's right here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right
Yeah,
on.
I know like he can be like a jerk at times, but you know, this new storyline and how they are portraying him, the writer Joshua Williamson, I like the direction that he's taking him, and I he's one of my favorites right now.
Cool. Yeah, Damian Wayne's definitely somebody that's grown on me. I think actually the animated movies, like the DC animated movies, sort of made me
Yes,
like him more because it was hard for me not to read him and think of him as just like a little kid.
exactly.
But the way he's portrayed in those movies, I'm like, all right, so he's a badass kid. So that's what you
Yeah,
gotta
exactly, exactly.
know. That is awesome. Okay, so I have a sense we're probably gonna be on the Marvel side for this question, then, considering what you said. What is your favorite run? Like, what's your favorite storyline in all of comic books?
You know, I've right now I'm enjoying Strange Academy a lot. That's one of my
Nice.
favorites. Um, I got through recently the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run. I thought that was fantastic. So much that I'm going to collect the next run that's coming up. I think
Oh,
what in the
cool.
summer or in a couple of months is coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah, that was another one that I love. And then on the indie side, I love Bitterroot. That I know that's been on a hiatus for a while, but that has been a fantastic story for me. And of course, the ever popular Something is Killing the Children.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's by far like it's kind of almost like the easy answer now. That's my favorite indie, so I'm all about that. And I was late to the party, and I was like, "Oh, this is probably like not as good as everybody says it is."
So was
Oh, it's
I. So
better.
was I.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't tend to like things that are popular, but I like that series. Cool. And then how about your favorite comic book movie? Like what's your jam there?
um, movie wise, there are so many. Oh my gosh. It was hard for me to really just pick one. But
Maybe favorite at
uh
the moment.
huh.
Like maybe favorite at the moment then.
At the moment, well, you know, I literally just saw Spider-Man No Way Home
Same.
on Monday.
Oh, nice. Right on.
On Monday. So I thought it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. My son is a huge Spideyverse fan, and man, he was so excited. You know, because we hadn't been to inside of a theater in 2 years. So
I think I saw it like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and like way late, kind of and yeah, same thing. I hadn't been in a movie theater in a long time either, and I just felt like what, it's been out long enough. Like I'm sure it's gonna be empty, and it was.
yeah,
And sure, yeah, I'm cool with that. So that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
it was a big
Mhm.
moment. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good one. It's weird. I was kind of let down by it, and I know it's not out on home release. I know some people still don't want to go to the theater, so I won't spoil it. But I will say I was disappointed with like the post credit stuff in that movie. I wasn't as excited as some other Marvel movies have made me excited.
Yeah, you know
So,
what was funny is that it was really hyped up though.
yeah,
So like, what is it? But
exactly. So we'll get through a couple more questions, and then we'll kind of get to some of the other topics on the show. But this one is kind of like the really get to know you question here. Like
uh-oh.
if well, hopefully in a good way. If you could change one thing about the comic book collecting hobby or about comic book collecting in general, what would that be?
You know, right now at this moment, it would be the fact that you can't walk into a new comic book day and get books for cover price. I really would change that, at least on new comic book day, that you can get the book for cover price. Selling them for eBay prices on the day of release just really bothers me. I
Okay.
know there's money to be made, and I'm okay if they do that. I'm okay with the comic shops doing that, just not on new comic book day. I would change that completely.
Okay. So and it's interesting because I this is something that I've talked about with a few collectors. I actually recently did a video that kind of touched on some of the stuff too, with that comic book kind of shop do's and don'ts, I would kind of call it maybe. So I am curious with that philosophy, would you limit it to one per customer then to make sure more people got a shot, or would you kind of make it like a free for all?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's a hot
Okay.
book, yeah, I'm okay with the one per as well. I'm totally fine with that as long as it's cover price.
Okay. Yeah, because that to me that's like the sticking point there because my personal opinion on that one, and I totally respect that opinion. My personal opinion is that a shop should be allowed to charge more as long as they don't charge their pull box customers more. However, I do kind of respect the shops more that decide not to do that and they charge cover price. But I know it's really tough for a shop and I understand, but at the same time, I'd prefer to see it for cover price. Like that's my preference, but I just don't want to see people take advantage of it and like, take the stack of copies and be like, haha, now I'm selling these all on eBay and they're
And
the
for
ones that
sure. And that's the other side of it. And I get that. And like I said, I'm okay with them doing it. Just give us that day. And then
yeah,
afterwards, if they're on the shelf, hike up the price if you want at that point. But give us at least that day.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally respect that. That's a good opinion to have, and it's definitely pro collector, which is something we need more of in the hobby for sure. And then okay, so the last question, another way we can kind of get to know you a little bit better. How about your favorite artist? Who do you like out there? And it could be a writer too, if you prefer a writer, but just kind of curious what you gravitate towards.
Yeah, artist wise, like there are so many great covers that have been coming out. So there's so many. I really like Clayton Crane's covers, JTC covers, or even Stegman covers. I also like Stegman's interiors.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorite interior artists. Sanford Green, the artist of Bitterroot. I like that style of art as well. So those are a few that come to mind as far as my favorites.
awesome. Good answer. Those are some great artists. Cool. Well, hey, so hopefully everybody has a chance to get to know Dani a little bit more. If you're not familiar with her or her channel, I do have a link for that in the description below as well. So if you're thinking like, hey, this sounds like a cool comic book collector, I'd love to see what kind of content she's posting. Go give her a follow, go give her some likes on some of her videos, and go subscribe to her channel. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. So we have to say hi to some new folks who have jumped in chat. I do see a super chat rolled through as well. So we have Earl. Earl's here. So how's it going, Earl? Thanks for joining the show.
Hey, Earl.
And Movie Man Greg says, hey. So we got Fonzie in the
Hey,
chat.
that's my bro. That's my brother.
Right on, right on.
My little brother.
Nice. So well, I'm glad he can make it. That's fantastic. Big Russ showing the support for Damien. I totally agree. Got Jerry saying Wolverine is the best. He is the best, and he's the best at what he does.
That's right.
Otaku Pops, glad you could catch the stream as well. That's fantastic. We love having you here. And we got Preston Estridge coming in with a $5 super chat. That means I got to write that on my sheet here for Preston coming in with a $5 super chat. Right now, Preston is winning this slab, this 9.8 Joker, You're the Villain, featuring Harley Quinn, Ji Hung Lee art in a 9.8, donated to us by dangerouswaters.com for $5. Just saying, that's a good deal.
All right, Preston gonna steal it.
Yep. Jay Dragons in the house. You need a better LCS. Yeah. Well, yeah. The funny thing is, I don't even have an LCS, so that LCS sounds good to me. But I also agree with your sentiment. I love my shop. Only ratios marked up and only one per on hot books. Yeah, that seems fair to me. Absolutely. DC Irish coming in, loving the Discord live guest. Is Preston Estridge next? Well, if Preston, he would definitely be on the radar if he wanted to do a channel kind of thing. Right now I'm trying to get some other YouTubers involved, trying to kind of grow the community a little bit too, but definitely some members on the Discord. If you guys are wondering what we're talking about, I do have a Discord for myself. I told you we're going to talk a little bit about Department of Comics Discord, which we are going to do too as well. But both of those links are in the description below if you want to join and see what all the fuss is about. Got Jerry Maples in the house. Comic Sam's in here. Awesome. Glad to see you in here, man.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, sweet. Danny's the best. You're great, dude. Ron's love it. Oh, love it. I agree. Definitely. And we got K-pop. Says figure drawings in here. Photogenic, schmotogenic. Yeah, Preston's shying away, but I get it. I get it. Oh, DC Irish coming in with the next super chat. Thank you, DC Irish. And oh, wow, we got Army Vet really wants to get in on this one. Almost missed the show. Here now, brother. Hey, thanks for coming in, dude. Welcome to the show. Now the party can get started, right? We got all the peeps in the house. So today is, and by the way, I really appreciate that super chat, by the way. Thank you very much. Today is New Comic Book Day. You know what that means? People go to LCSs, or if you're me, you get stuff in the mail and you pretend like it's new, even though it's a month old because it came from things from another world. But we got some books to show off. As we're kind of showing off our books, people in the chat, feel free to let us know what you decided to pick up today. Dani, do you have anything you want to show off that you got today at New Comic Book Day?
Yeah, so I haven't been to the shop in a couple of weeks, and unfortunately, I could not pick up everything because I had a huge car repair that cost $1,800 yesterday. So I did pick up some of my pulls, and there are actually some from a couple of weeks ago. So everything is not from New Comic Book Day today. But I did pick up Star Wars 20, second printing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And of course,
there too.
The Black Panther 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I got to get my Wolvie in. And this Adi Granoff cover is, oh.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Is that issue 4?
Yes.
Cool. I heard like Marvel's saying that like something huge happens in that book.
Oh, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. But
cool.
Yeah. And then we had to get, of course, and this is, usually it's Art Adams, but this was done by Stegman this time for the character Spotlight.
Love it.
It's fantastic. And I got my What If for Miles. Haven't read any of these yet, but got them picked up. I finally got around to picking up my second print of this one. This is Strange Academy 15, second printing.
So what do you think of Gaslamp so far? You think he's a cool character? Or?
I do. It's like, oh, man. It's, I think it's appropriate to, as far as the type of character they brought out, the New Orleans vibe and everything. So,
nice.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I love it.
Cool.
We got some Star Wars. We got the High Republic 15. And my guy Robin. And we have another High Republic. This is High Republic Adventures 13.
I love that cover. That kind of goes back to, I think High Republic 1 had a variant that was kind of like that.
Yeah, I think it was it like a second printing? Or
I think so, yeah. It had like all the
yeah,
the Jedi
I think
there.
I have that one. Then we have some Alex Ross Punisher goodness. I have to grab that. And then I had some old stuff, like I said, Kanto, the 1 in 10. This was the only one they had, and I was lucky enough to be the person that got it. So, and this thing is hard to find. Like, I couldn't find it online anywhere. So,
yeah. Nice.
More Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. Love that cover.
I think this is a Ray show as well, but I can't remember. It's like 15 or something like that.
I think it's like a 1 in 10 or 125, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 in 25.
And then the Robin 11, I think, was a 1 in 25.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And then this one, I had my eye on it courtesy of a little boba that whispered in my ear,
And see, that's one of the great reasons to join Department of Comics, by the way. If you're into Star Wars and Star Wars spec, it's Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boba Fett on there drops some knowledge about Star Wars books. Not to give away too much, but let's just say like maybe some stuff ends up on Key Collector that maybe he kind of sends into them. If you're looking for that kind of information and you want to get it early, Department of Comics is a good place to go and hang out in the Star Wars chat.
Yeah, and then just one last one was both the covers for the Eye of the Storm. I didn't, you can just do the one, but both these covers were great, so I picked both of them up.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah.
And then there's the some leveler stuff in that. I think I can't remember which one's which, but
Yeah. So the other half of my stuff is still in my pull box. We'll probably get that after payday.
yeah, I hear that for sure. Yeah, I had some stuff kind of trickle in. I'll kind of go through. So my new comic book day consisted of, there's some whatnot stuff I got. Picked up Amazing Spider-Man Annual 26, which is an origin of Venom.
Look at
So
that cover.
that was cool. Yeah, it's a cool cover. Just kind of zoom in there a little bit, a little washed out with my light, but you get the idea. And then from Starset, who I talked about earlier, is the guy that sent me the Hulk 180. He had some stuff on his stream that just people weren't bidding on. And I mean, I will buy that cover all day. I think it was like $1 when I got it.
Oh, it's your girl. Is that Rogue?
It's Rogue. Yeah. Rogue at Gwen Stacy as Rogue. And then I just thought this was cool too. Getting a Doctor Strange #9.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Nice.
And then trying to remember, I think, yeah, I got this from Paul Dunn. Paul Dunn's another good seller on Whatnot. And he had a couple, I think these are Lamole. They're definitely Mexican versions. Yeah, got the Mexican foil in there. Don't know if I can kind of get the foil to react.
I had no idea those existed.
Yeah, and then this one is definitely for me the star of the show, the Mexican reprint of Hulk 181. Speaking of Hulk 180 and Hulk 181,
nice, nice and shiny.
Yeah, I think those are Lamoles, but if they're not, they're basically the same thing. And then this, so everything else here is from Things from Another World. So this is kind of new comic book day. I've waited for this. You guys remember how old this issue is? Batman 106.
Oh yeah.
First cameo of Miracle Molly, which is, I think it's just her chin as it turned out. But this is signed by Tinian.
Nice.
40 of 70 with a COA from Dynamic Forces. Dynamic Forces takes forever.
I've heard. I've never ordered from them, but I've heard the stories.
I've actually got some slabs that are, I think, technically still on order from them that are like reprints of Batman 89 and reprints of Hell Arisen 3. And I've had them on order since Black Friday year before last.
Whoa.
They're probably not going to come at this point, but technically they're still in order.
Keep the faith, brother.
Yeah. Exactly. And then real fast, I got to pull out a few books here for the segment we do on this show later on. But yeah, here's my Things from the World haul. This is the oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Mac covers.
Yeah.
The Mac, Something is Killing the Children, like issues 1 through 6. Haven't opened that up yet, but Something is Killing the Children. It's an extra print. Had to get it. Had everything in order here. There's not too much here, but I did have to get a copy of Ghost Rider 1.
Nice.
Hots cover, I think. Nope, that's not Hots. Hellions. Had to go after the Goblin Queen.
Did you FOC that Gleason cover for her?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Inferno. Yeah, it had to. That one was just, it's too cool.
It really is.
Those for that segment. And then some Star Wars as well. Got Star Wars Vader 20.
Nice.
That was a cool variant. And then a little familiar. Had that come in as well. And then final books that are kind of just the regular stuff. I got the Venom X Gwen variant for Dazzler.
Nice.
And then just the regular cover 2, because that is that's a key. A couple new characters, I believe, pop up in there. A couple new symbiotes. So that's that part. And then let's just check in with chat, make sure we didn't miss anything real fast. Otaku Pop says Strange Academy is their jam. Absolutely.
Right.
A lot of people on Strange Academy right now. I need to actually go back and read it. I've kind of been waiting for like the first couple volumes on digital to go on sale, and then I'm going to blaze through that thing because I'm excited to read it.
Yeah.
Any suggestion for online back issues other than my comic shop? So the sponsor of tonight's super chat giveaway, get all my comic books out of the way here. I'll just take as another opportunity to show this off. The 9/8 Harley cover there. You can win that tonight by super chatting. That's dangerouswaters.com that donated that. They actually have a really good selection of back issues. One of the things he does, the owner makes sure to go around and pick up back issues. So a lot of these shops that are kind of the newer stores really only have new stuff and they have exclusives, and that's totally awesome. But he specializes in having a bunch of older, copper, bronze, and stuff from like the 90s. So if you want to look for some back issues, that's a good place to go. Midtown's not bad either. Trying to think for back issues, who else is really good? Gmart. Sometimes you'll have some luck at Gmart, but they're kind of hit or miss on what they'll have. Do you have any recommendations for that, Danny?
Yeah, no, I was on the same lines as you. But with Midtown, I usually try to watch for those blowout back issue sales. They have like 65, 75% off and stuff like that. But yeah, same stores that you mentioned.
For sure. Guy McLeod says, "What's up, good people? First time on this live. Bronze, digging your channel, brother. Danny, appreciate that vinyl set. My sister, y'all keep up the good work. Nice."
Oh, is that one of my giveaway winners?
Oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I missed this one. Jerry, are you asking if I do mystery boxes? I do them as a joke. I'm kind of like a little anti mystery box. The only mystery box I like are the ones that like, hey, here's everything that's in the mystery boxes, and you have a chance of getting one of those things. And they're like, okay, I'm fine with getting the worst one of those, so I'm willing to buy the mystery box. I'm a little against mystery boxes in general.
I don't do them at all.
Yeah, I've bought a few because they're fun for the channel, every once in a while. But yeah, I try to stay away from them. Okay, for sure, man. Absolutely. Department of Comics hooking it up. That's another good reason to join Department of Comics. Everybody in there looks out for each other, tries to, post about the hot books. And there is a premium too, which some giveaways are attached to that, which are really cool. We'll be talking about that more later on too, probably in a future show or a future live show. Got 78 points of articulation, the master of action figures himself in the chat.
Strike a pose.
Yeah. Oh, hey, got figure drawing coming in with a $5 super chat. Make sure I get that down. Let's see, we got 27 people in here. Awesome. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Figure drawing. Glad I checked in with chat. I would have missed some of this stuff. I got Michael Skinner. What's up, Michael? Says you just signed up for Comic Tom's box for the first time. I'm willing to take the gamble for at least a month. Yeah, I've seen some interesting stuff come out of those. If you're into the exclusives that he puts into them, I think that's great. I've also seen some unboxings where I was maybe not impressed with them. But it's just how it goes. Sometimes some people love them. Some people are cool with whatever. I agree. Whatnot is plagued by mystery boxes too. I think Skeff does some pretty good ones, but I've seen some pretty bad ones too. And that's how it is,
It is.
So I do have to do this segment real fast. I know, like Preston, for example, will yell at me if I don't do it. Let's talk about the booty cover of the week. The booty cover of the week is, oh my gosh, that is cut off. I'll probably have to do that. There we go. So this is a segment where I go over the covers I picked up where I enjoy the booty cover aspect of it. A lot of people are into TNA, and a lot of people are into the T part of TNA. I'm more into the A, and I try to appreciate those covers. So we got the Selena cover for Invincible Red Sonja. Try to frame that here a little bit better. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, honestly, just the type of work that Selena does, I just appreciate that kind of, regardless of whether or not it's a cheesecake cover or something, that's just good pencils. Then, I lied. One of these is not a booby cover, but I had some Lady Death come in. That's still a cool cover, but yeah, not a contender. Ivan Toe or Ivan Dow. I'm not really sure if it's Dow or Toe, but Ivan Tao did an amazing job on this Bell annual. I think that's an artist that I definitely would keep an eye on. I know Ivan started doing artwork for DC recently, kind of transitioning into mainstream and away from some of the Zenoscope stuff and all that. An artist I would definitely keep an eye on. And then these are really the two contenders. we'll have to pick a winner here at the end, but a couple more Lady Deaths came in that Things from Another World was nice enough to hold for me. That one's really good. And this one, hard to argue with the shiny. I'll see if I can catch that on the light. It is like all the lingerie or whatever is foil. It's kind of weird. It does not show up at all. There we go. You kind of see some of it. Yeah, but I think the winner is probably going to be this one right here. Booty cover of the week. There we go. Finally declared a winner. It's been a while since we've done that segment. So that's your winner for this week.
I would have chose the shiny foil one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, do you still have that Lady Death picture you drew?
You know what? No, when I got out of collecting because I was robbed, that was one of the pieces that was stolen.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So was it do you do a lot of art like that, or is that kind of just a once in every once in a while kind of a thing, or?
You know what? I used to, like, when I was back in the day, and then, like I said, everything got stolen, like my artwork, my collection, majority of my collection. And it was so traumatizing to me because I had been collecting that stuff since I was a kid. I just it took it out of me and I stopped. I stopped drawing. I stopped collecting. I stopped it all.
Okay. But
Yeah.
you've obviously restarted on the collection side.
Yeah.
Has that inspired you to maybe kind of take up the art side again?
I've felt like maybe I will, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if you do start doing that, I think that's gonna be really awesome to follow along with. I always love watching people especially kind of get back into art after they haven't been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Probably because I used to, dabble and want to get back into it, but I just never seem to find time.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot happened in news this week. So we are going to get into some news. This will be interesting. Let's try to do a screen share here. And let's see how this looks. Let's see. First up, we'll talk about this story. Okay, cool. That does look okay. So this is interesting. Now, the source here on this one is Giant Freaking Robot, which I'm critical of. I don't think that they're always the best source. In other words, I think that sometimes they kind of are into the clickbait side of things. However, I think this is interesting because there's a lot of logic behind what they're going with here. Essentially, they're saying that Stephen Yeun, most famous probably for The Walking Dead, is possibly linked to playing a villain in Spider-Man 4. The villain that they point to is Mr. Negative, who is a fan favorite villain of Spider-Man, kind of one of the newer villains in his rogues gallery. So this is interesting. So Danny, are you a fan of Mr. Negative or a fan of Spider-Man?
Yeah, I didn't collect Spidey back then, but I kind of got, to be honest, introduced to Mr. Negative when I started playing that Spider-Man game that came out on PlayStation.
Totally.
So yeah, and I thought it was fantastic. I'm like, whoa, look at this dude, and it was a crazy storyline. So I haven't sought his story out in the comics just yet, but I am familiar with the character a little bit.
Sweet. So as far as, and I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I read a little bit of Brand New Day, which is when he got introduced in the story. But I'm not like well versed on him. Do you think Stephen Yeun would be a good casting choice for him, or is that somebody you'd rather see somebody else play him?
I do. I think, Stephen Yeun is coming into his own. We had him, in The Walking Dead, and he's doing the voice in Invincible. But I like to see him get that big break, and I think he would do well with it.
Right on. Yeah, I think he'd be a good choice. There's a I forgot the name of it. There's basically like a zombie movie he did, where like everybody in an office building gets infected, and they kind of like, it's more like the rage virus from like 28 Days Later. They kind of go crazy for a while or whatever.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he's the main star in that movie, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Maybe somebody on chat will help us out. But it's a cool movie, and it is more of like that kind of action-y kind of thing to see him in, because he didn't, even though he played Glenn, he didn't really do a ton of action in Walking Dead, I feel like.
Yeah.
but I could definitely see him doing that. And he got to be a little bit more like violent, and then so I could see him playing a little bit more of a villain now. And I think he'd be a good choice. But and again, this is something I don't want to like get anybody's hopes up. I would never tell anybody like, hey, go run out and buy some of his first appearance or any of that kind of stuff. But it's something I think collectors should kind of have their eye on. Some of these rumors do kind of pan out. They go out of their way to say it's from a trusted and proven source. I mean, again, I've seen some clickbait come out of Giant Freaking Robot, but I thought we should talk about it.
It will be fun though if it turns out to be true.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I gotta be careful not to make that full screen because that looks weird if I do. Okay, and then let's see here. This is another little tip that I tried to pull up a copy. I don't think I did. Yeah, I couldn't pull up the cover. Maybe I have the wrong issue number there. Maybe it's like 147. Can't remember what the issue number is, but there's a new Turtles book out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they just so it's basically I think it just passed FOC, I want to say, and then they released the Eastman cover, which is actually he's only doing the colors on the cover.
Yeah.
And I forgot the artist's name that's actually doing
Sophia. Is her name Sophia?
That sounds about right. I think that was something in there. And I'd probably have to pull it up. Maybe I even will.
She's been on the title, I think, when they were working on Ronin. I think she took over the TMNT run for a little bit. And yeah, they said she was an artist too, I believe. And so I saw the cover and it's beautiful. The colors in it are beautiful.
I'm actually I'm gonna scroll up and see if I can find it real fast. Because I wanted to pull it up and show everybody in the chat. I just forgot the issue number. It is 127 is the issue number. So see if I can find that. I knew it was ending in a 7.
Yeah.
Must have to spell it out. Teenage Mutant 127. There we go. And interesting. Okay, so let's see here. Do I have to sorry. A little awkward. Can I just add that window?
I think I saw his he tweeted about it, didn't he? Eastman?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I saw the cover is on his Twitter post.
His Twitter profile. It's just funny that I usually League of Comic Geeks is usually on it for updating their covers, but they didn't have it. So let's look at Kevin Eastman Twitter. Sorry to waste so much time on this, but I do think it's a cool cover and I want people to see it.
Yeah.
Twitter.
There it is.
There's the cover, so we'll get there. Yep. Okay, so there you go. So if you're not familiar with this character, I actually am a lapsed Turtle fan. I only kind of read in the 90s, so I got some education over on that Department of Comics Discord we're talking about. But this is Venus de Milo, who I guess was interested in the cartoon in the 90s. I don't really remember that, but that's cool. And so I guess this is the first full appearance in a comic book. And then this cover will be the first cover appearance, which is really cool. So I just kind of wanted to, make sure everybody got a chance to see that. I know that FOC just passed on this, but some places you can still kind of add some stuff to your card or whatever. If you wanted to get on this book before it, becomes a hot comic book on New Comic Book Day, might be a good
I have a feeling it will.
I do too. Yeah. I went to Things from Their World. I picked up a few copies that they let me add to the pre-order thing still, which is one of the few reasons I still use Things from Their World. But you might want to check like Comic Corner, a few of those places, and see if they still have some copies.
You are brave, my man. I gave up on them.
Yeah, I want to. I just kind of use them for this kind of stuff now for the most part, but it's like such a coin flip whether or not you're going to have a good experience with them. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about here, this is kind of interesting. It's not really necessarily something that's going to affect anything now. But this is essentially John Hamm confirming that he was in talks to play Mr. Sinister in, I think it was Age of Apocalypse. And moreover, John Hamm's a really cool guy. I've heard him on a bunch of podcasts. He just seems like a really funny, really neat guy. I guess he's a fan of X-Men and New Mutants, which just kind of threw me off a little bit. So I guess he was like interested in playing the character because he's a fan. To me, like, seeing John Hamm as Mr. Sinister would
You
be
know what? I
amazing.
can. I was looking at that and I was like, yeah, I think he could pull that off.
I think so, 100%.
And what now I was confused because I thought they said that I know he was in talks about maybe appearing in an X-Men movie, but then there's also something about where he was going to cameo in that New Mutants movie because of, the genetic side of it and, the altering. So I was a little confused, like, well, which was it going to be in both?
Yeah, it's possible because I mean they were obviously looking to establish, kind of a larger universe. But now, I mean, there's a lot of debate about what exactly is happening with multiverse of madness and all that stuff. But I mean, if they want to slide some of those characters in, I don't see why they couldn't revisit talks for them to play if that was kind of part of the original plan.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that's really fascinating. So let's know in the chat, guys. What do you think about John Hamm playing Mr. Sinister? I think it would have been sweet.
Yeah.
And before we get to the other little articles here, I will take a second just to kind of talk about this for the people that are just now joining us. What I need to do is move all these comic books out of the way. And just to kind of give a chance for people that are joining into the chat, we do have the super chat giveaway. We're going to talk about a couple more news stories and we'll kind of wrap up. So get a last couple chances to get in on this this slab that was donated to us by dangerouswaterscomics.com, which is a 9/8 Joker villain, Year of the Villain #1, fantastic Ji-Hoon Lee cover. And let's talk. Oh, what did it do? Nope, I don't want to do that. Yeah, there we go. Let's talk about the other couple news stories that kind of came out this week. Here's the big one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we have Obi-Wan trailer dropped. I'm, kind of repping the Star Wars here. Felt like I was in a Star Wars mood. So did you get a chance to watch it yet, Danny?
Oh my gosh, yes. I watched it and then I watched it again. Yes, I did.
Nice. So if you haven't watched it yet, hopefully nobody thinks. Some people think trailers are spoilers. If you're one of those people, we are going to talk about it a little bit, and primarily to get into some of the characters that we saw in that trailer. I'm just going to throw this out there. If you don't want to see those kind of spoilers, maybe tune out, maybe kind of watching the rewind and skip through this section to get to the later part of the video. But I go through like watching the trailer and like that. It's a pretty short teaser. Fantastic music in that trailer, touching on some of the prequel music, which is the thing that really kind of stuck out to me the most. But also, oh my gosh, did we get a look at the Inquisitors?
Oh,
it's crazy.
It is.
So we mentioned him earlier. Boba Fett is over on the Department of Comics Discord. He's a Star Wars expert when it comes to spec, when it comes to Star Wars comic books and Star Wars in general. And he actually made a post too with kind of like all the different like big spec stuff that he expects to come out of this book, like the key issues you should be looking at. It'll probably be a little bit more accurate and a little bit quicker than you can get it from like Key Collector or something like that. So I think a lot of people are familiar with Kanan 12, which is the first appearance of the Grand Inquisitor. He also mentioned that Darth Vader 6 from 2017 was the first cover appearance. Sorry, I'm kind of reading from a post here he made. And then some other early appearances he listed. And then Fifth Brother is another person that we saw in the trailer. He's another one of the Inquisitors. And his first appearance was in Darth Vader 6 from 2017 as well. So that'd be a good book to go after for a couple different reasons, it looks like. And then, boy, this is to me what I'm not going to go through and read all of these. What I'm going to recommend you do, if you do want to check out a full list of something like that, go join up that Discord. It's a great place to go get news. And he's a fantastic member over there. And there's a lot of other stuff too. It's not just Star Wars, but I think on a day where some Star Wars news dropped, that's some stuff that's worth talking about.
For sure.
So where are you at with Star Wars? Are you a huge Star Wars fan? Or are you just kind of general fan? Or what do you think?
I am. I've loved it since I was a kid. And, I know people don't like the the second trilogy, that came out, but I don't know. I just like that what they're doing with Star Wars now, and then they're also filling in some of the gaps. Like they filled in the gap on Boba Fett. What happened to him after he got swallowed, and they're filling in the blanks. Now we'll see on the Obi-Wan. We're gonna fill in and see what he was up to for that whole time leading up to, the first Star Wars movie. So I think it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. There's just so much happening. It's kind of hard to keep up a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree. I think for me, I'm a little hesitant about Obi-Wan in general, although I love what I've seen so far from like this trailer. But I'm just like, that's a period in time where it's like you start to get real close to episode 4.
Yeah.
And if we start teasing it out too much, like all this stuff happened while Obi-Wan was on Tatooine. Like when I was reading the Marvel comics where they kind of go over a little bit of that.
Yeah.
With I think Mike Mayhew was doing the art on it at the time. And that's like where you saw a lot of Black Chrysanthemum, for example, and he goes and fights Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan gets up to some stuff. And it just sort of, it's cool on one hand, but I also like hope that they don't go too over the top because,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan can't be gallivanting across the galaxy too much, in my opinion, because he's supposed to be guarding Luke.
Right.
So hopefully, we have some very smart people over at Disney that are working on this. Although the sequel trilogy did kind of make me lose some hope. The TV stuff has been great so far. A couple missteps though, but I have faith. Ewan McGregor, so happy to have him back in that role.
Man, I was so glad that he was the one that he's reprising his role. I was like, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just such a joy to see him back in that role. And then I guess the thing that makes me the most nervous, and it's out there, everyone knows about this already, I think, is the Hayden Christensen coming back, and we're gonna get that rematch. I mean, the musical cues, that's part of the reason I like the trailer, because you do get that kind of musical kind of cue that we're going to be going back to that relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I hope that fight is worth it, because that's going to be interesting. And I've always thought it's weird that when you see how they interact with each other in the prequel trilogy, and then what happens in episode 4, when Obi-Wan sacrifices himself in the fight, I've always thought there's a bit of a disconnect between the tone there. Like I almost want them to maybe kind of play on the empathy there more about like why he was willing to sacrifice himself. Maybe he felt guilty. Maybe that's something we'll learn a little bit more about in this show. So as you said, excellent point. It's a fantastic time to be a Star Wars fan. I think this is going to be a really interesting show, and no matter what, it's going to be well done. We all know that. So
yeah, for sure.
Cool. So I did want to give a shout out. I did see that he jumped into the chat. We had Boba Fett in the house, as you pointed out. That is so fantastic. I'm glad he was able to drop by. He said the darker tone. Yes, absolutely. It was definitely chilling. I completely agree. And it's kind of funny because I saw some people, I'll kind of write down his super chat too here. Preston, thanks for the super chat, by the way, mentioned it looked better than Book of Boba Fett.
It's funny, the opinions. I get it, and when the memes, like the best part about the Boba Fett was the Mandalorian.
The Book of the Mandalorian.
right. So, but I think they're gonna do great. I really hope so.
Totally. I don't really hate that show or anything. Like, I think it had a pacing problem in my opinion. Maybe that was editing, could have been a little bit sharper or something, but it was what actually happened in the show was interesting. I just wanted to see Boba Fett be more of a badass, kind of, I guess, is my big thing about that show.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, it's a different part of his life and everything, right?
Right.
I do want to go back up. I went back up to Preston's message. I think we did get a couple questions in here, a couple interesting comments. Trade Paper Dad says the first spec I remember on Mr. Sinister was in the Deadpool 2 movie, the Essex clinic that experimented on Domino. That is interesting. I did not notice that connection.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Man, he's been teased so much. Just bring him on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought there was one more message in here I missed. And absolutely, yeah, 100% with the shout outs. I think it's deserved. Um, I saw somebody saying something about a spec question for us, I think. Um, feel good. Huh. Guess I missed it. If somebody did have a question that we didn't get to, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Sometimes it moves a little faster than I can keep up with on these live shows. Yeah, it's a good point, right? It's one of those things where, like, it's when I started saying that, the very next episode is when he like act like he got his ship back and he like went and like destroyed, the Sarlacc, and or not that he went into the Sarlacc again, destroyed the biker gang. Like he actually did some Boba Fett shit. So um awesome. Glad to hear that we're delivering on it. I appreciate that. Oh, that was the question I missed. Thank you very much, Boba Fett. Someone asked if we were getting Dazzler or Namor first in the MCU. Good question, Danny. What do you think?
Oh man, I think I don't know. The Namor rumors have been so hot, and I think, and then it was weird because sometimes I watch those breakdown shows of trailers, and
Yeah.
some people thought he might even be in the multiverse of madness, that we may see Namor there. So I think it's possible that we may see him first.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the Black Panther
Yeah,
rumor.
the teasing in there. Yeah.
You
And
know,
what
'cause
was it? Avengers, when they felt the tremors in the sea.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. I think probably most Marvel fans, that's something
Yeah.
that kind of was like, oh, we know what happens in the sea, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it'd be kind of a fitting way. Like I know we guys, sorry if this is a spoiler for you, but you should have watched the Super Bowl in the Multiverse of Madness trailer. Um, um, we know we're getting Professor X, right? But
Yeah.
but as far as like and that's the Fox version. Maybe that'll be the version we get going forward. We don't know. But for a first like real new introduction of a mutant in the MCU, Namor would be kind of a fitting one because he is, sort of kind of a retcon, but he was kind of the first mutant we saw in Marvel Comics, really. So that'd be interesting, I think. And he'd be
Yeah.
a good villain for Black Panther too, because it's somebody you could actually like go toe to toe with, and two nations at war, maybe that'd be pretty fun to see.
Yeah. It would be insane.
Yeah. Um, Namor was teased at. Okay. She said it. Gotcha. Cool. So yeah, that's that story. And then let's see here. Keep doing that one. That's not the right one. There we go. Not used to having that third option there. Um, and then the other thing I was going to talk about, and this is kind of just a real quick deal. Uh, I don't really want to. There's some speculation and some fanboy argument stuff kind of going on
Yeah. Oh
about
boy.
this. Yeah, and I don't want to get too far into that, but I think we should at least talk about it. If you're not familiar, this hit stores today actually for New Comic Book Day. Captain Carter #1. Obviously, we saw Captain Carter debut in the MCU in What If, in the first episode of What If, for that matter. So everyone kind of went and hopped on Exiles #3 because it has that classic Uncanny X-Men homage with her on it in the Captain America, kind of place. And so everyone's been picking up that Exiles 3 and kind of going after it, which makes sense. And then people kind of pointed out, well, she's Captain America in Exiles 3.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
The Captain America, the suit, the shield, she's yeah.
And I guess to me that's sort of like makes sense, that people would go after that book because it's the first time you see Peggy Carter as a captain character.
Yeah.
Which I think there's still value in that, but it is interesting to kind of think about, hey, actually, this is the first cover. No, sorry, it's not the first cover. It's the first full appearance of her as Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. Yeah. I mean, she's at the Union Jack shield, and
Yep.
it's different. It is.
Yeah. And shout out to Mel V from Drunken Chat and Tales from the Flip Side. He pointed out on one of those posts, really good point to make too, that she actually appeared as Captain Carter on the cover for Avengers Forever #1. I think it was the A cover last year.
Okay.
So if you really want to get into like first cover, technically even these covers aren't her first cover. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Because I know a lot of people will probably pick up this book. Probably not a ton of people picked up Avengers Forever #1.
Well, they will now, won't they?
Yeah, they will now, right?
Ron's putting it out there.
Exactly. All right, guys. So I'll just show off the slab one more time because we will get pretty quickly here. We will do the giveaway if you super chat. So if you're not familiar with this, I guess I'll explain it for a second. There's a little money icon probably down below, depending on your device or how you're watching this, and you can super chat, and that's basically a donation to the channel, saying like, "Hey, we like what you guys are doing," that kind of thing. And then that all goes into like, my fees for like cover price and buying new comic books and all that kind of stuff. But you could get a chance to win this. I'll do a random number generator. And if you were the first person to put $1 in, for example, you get number 1. And if number 1 came up, you would win this. I would send it to you free of charge. I do want to point out this slab does have a little bit of a crack on that there. That's why Dangerous Waters was nice enough to generate. I mean, this probably goes for like 175, 200 on eBay, but he sent over a few of these slabs because somebody's going to get a chance to win these. That's still really cool on your wall. You get that Ji-Hung Lee cover. So I don't like to talk about that too much, but kind of let you know what's going on, give you that last chance to get in on that. So did you, and I think you saw one other news story you were talking about too, that was a new first appearance, right?
Well, yeah, it was a mutant that I'm not even familiar with that was rumored, and they said the images have been scrubbed from the internet, of a character called Dr. Revive appearing in She-Hulk. And they said he's a mutant. Okay. And I'm like, who? Have you heard of him?
Yeah. And as somebody who's an X-Men fan, although I did have, a couple periods of time where I wasn't really reading comic books, I'm not familiar with that character at all. So that's interesting. And then that kind of, you were talking about who could be the first mutant in the MCU, and there's already been some stuff. Actually, Ursa Major was in Black Widow, and it's who Red Guardian arm wrestles in prison in the Gulag. Yeah. And technically in the comic books, he is a mutant. So could he be the first mutant we see in the MCU? It's going to be kind of interesting.
And it continues.
Yeah, exactly. Preston says he'd love to put that slab next to my Hella Risen. He won in my first or second auction I did on YouTube. He won my Hella Risen 3 first appearance of Punchline. So that would be a good one to put it next to. People are talking about what character they'd want to see. I just want an MCU Emma Frost already with her actually done well with class. I agree. As much as I like January Jones, I did not enjoy that interpretation of the character very much at all. She wasn't a very fleshed out character either. She was basically just like a one-trick pony kind of thing.
I knew that comment had to be Boba. I knew it was Boba.
Yeah. It's funny too, because everyone knows, or most people probably know, that I'm a Cyclops fan. And I'm one of the few Cyclops fans that shipped the whole Emma Cyclops relationship. I actually thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I liked her whole arc when she went from being, Hellfire Club villain to being more of that anti-hero on the side of good. And the reason why they did that was really cool too, because her team of students basically got killed, and she wanted to protect a new team of students, and that was a neat way to do that.
Yeah.
Underrated X-Men issue is the issue where she wakes up from her coma and takes over Iceman's body and goes around kind of raising hell with his body. It was pretty fun.
Oh man,
I can't remember the issue. It's like 317 or something maybe. Good issue. Preston would rather see Jubilee. Jubilee would be dope. I agree. Jubilee would be fun. 100%. Hey, Collector P in the house. What's up? A GT Key Comic. Some people join into the show kind of late here. That's awesome. We'll take you at any point in the show that you want.
Hey, guys.
Some of you guys probably watch on the rewind too in the future, and we appreciate that too.
Absolutely.
Cyclops. Unfortunately, the emoji doesn't show up when I highlight it, but that's my little custom emoji for Cyclops there. Love that. And then let's get a couple super chats in before we roll out here. In the 41 through 45 spot, we got MB Comer. MB Comer. Had just had some slabs reholdered. Turnaround was 35 days. Oh, that's surprisingly good. That's good to hear. Ricardo comes in with a $5 super chat as well. Ricardo says, supporting the cause. Love it. Love it. Speaking of supporting causes, I'll say it one more time before we go over to the random number generator. Dani was gracious enough to be our guest tonight. That's really awesome. Please, 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 there's a link in the description below. Go give her a subscribe on YouTube. After this is over, go check out some of her content. She does some really cool like unboxings, for example. I've seen some really great stuff on there. I really recommend the content. I'd recommend going and check it out.
Thank you.
Of course. Department of Comics hoping they do a Gambit reboot, but this time with someone that can, act.
Wow.
So I know
Channing fan, really?
I heard Channing Tatum was like in shambles because he like couldn't do the role or whatever. Because he never actually played him, right? It was
I think there was a Gambit scene. What movie was
it? That was in like X-Men, not X-Men Origins, I don't think. Or maybe it was X-Men Origins, the Wolverine film. It was I'm blanking on the actor's name that played him in that, like a Tyler or something like that, maybe. Taylor something. But Channing Tatum, that'd be interesting, but I never really saw. I guess he's from Louisiana, but I can't really see him doing like a Cajun accent because he's never done. Be interesting to see him actually try to slip into that for a second.
Yeah, I think in part of that article I was reading, they mentioned the Gambit movie that was supposed to happen before Disney acquired Fox. So it kind of shut all of those projects down. So I'm hoping Gambit is one of my favorite X-Men. I love the Cajun along with his Lady Rogue. They're like my favorite MCU couple. I love those two. So yeah, that would be cool to see him in a live action for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I'm a big X-Men fan, and X-Men, like the blue team, is still my favorite configuration like ever, because you had Cyclops, you had Rogue, you had Gambit, you had Beast, you had Jubilee, all these great characters. Gold team, man, they can go suck eggs. They weren't that good. There's cool. All the X-Men are good. Don't get me wrong. Boba coming back with some Emma facts. Such an important mutant in the overall scheme of things. So many really cool stories to tell with Emma that could be into what the MCU. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Okay, MB Comer. Got it. Thank you for that. I'm always like struggling with artist names or like, channel names or whatever. I'm more than happy when somebody does the phonetic for me. Oh, did you do a super chat? And I miss it. I'm scrolling up for you, Jade. It's happened before. This would not be the first time. Oh, there you are. I apologize for missing you, Jade. You were right after Army Vet. That's an easy fix. Give me 1 second while I fix that. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Dragon, and then that would be 40. And that would be 41 through 45. Okay, we got you in there. Thank you so much for saying that. And that gave me a chance to scroll up too, so I did make sure there weren't any others that got missed, and it does not look like it. So then we had Ricardo's, and I know we have one more down here, or two more down here. Big Russ coming in with a $5 super chat as well. People getting in on that slab. Love it.
Get in on it.
And then Taylor Kish, thank you very much. That is the name I was trying to think of. Good actor. I just don't think he really pulled off Gambit too well, but that's me. And Department of Comics coming in with that $5 super chat as well. And that is a perfect segue to give one last little plug for Department of Comics. Go check them out on Discord. If you guys are on my Discord, I'll post a link up in that later tonight too, so you can all go check that out. If you're not in my Discord, you can go check that one out too.
Yeah, it's fun in there.
And I just want to, maybe kind of go over it. So we talked about like, hey, we had this person like Boba Fett. He's awesome and goes on there and talks about this stuff. You also have like literally anybody who sees like a bit of news about comic books that they spot before you do, they'll post about it. If you want to talk about, video games or action figures or toys or statues, there are tons of channels dedicated to all kinds of nerd type culture stuff that we all love, and there's going to be a place for you there. Some people probably go on there and only go into one or two channels. Some people will hop channel to channel. There's just so much to do there. So
yeah, it takes a moment to get used to it and navigate. And I know at first for me, like I had to learn how to mute some of the channels because it would do.
Yeah.
And so once you get the hang of all of that, and go into those channels with the content that you like, Discord is just an awesome resource, and you get to know just like your fellow collectors. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so 100%. Glad I learned about it.
Yeah. And I mean, just, the connections I made, like I said, we met through Department of Comics, so that's a connection there. All those types of people you end up, Big Russ, I met him through there, Boba Fett, all these really cool members of the community and so many more. And the cool thing about Discord is, the way I like to describe it is it's not private, although you can make a private one for sure, but it's not really like private, but it's also not like open where like anybody's coming in and out. They got to join. They have to like, see the rules, kind of accept the rules, and then they're part of that community. So it's a little bit like more of like a private subreddit is kind of like how I would describe it in a way.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, we did have one more super chat I want to talk about. Movie Man Greg says, question for each of you. What is your highest graded / favorite comic you own? Dani, do you want to tackle that one first?
Oh, my highest graded favorite. Oh my gosh. Right now it would probably be, oh man, I have so many of them, but I just got back my my X-Men 4. So I have 2 of those now, one blue label and then one signed by Jim Lee. And
that was fire.
The signed one came back in 96. The blue label was in 98, but man, I was ecstatic to get that back. I love it. So I think that's one of my favorites in my collection.
Nice. That's a good choice. I love that cover. Man, every cover in that like kind of early part of that run was just great.
Right? Wasn't it though?
I love 5's cover a little bit more, even though it's a key most people probably don't care about. It's not Omega Red or whatever.
Oh, I mean, you still know I'm on that cover. I'm on. That's Wolverine. Oh man, that cover is fantastic too.
But it's also the first appearance of Maverick, who's I love Maverick. So
yeah,
kind of one of those underrated 90s characters that I like. Maverick and Cardiac are 2 that I bring up. I'm like, I love these guys, and no one ever shows them any love or talks about them, but they're great characters. And then for me, highest graded, I mean, I have a bunch of 9.8s. I don't have any 9.9s yet or anything like that.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Jeff is like the luckiest person. He gets all the 9.9s.
Yeah, I think that, or people who submit a ton of moderns occasionally kind of get lucky on a 9.9, or
I don't know.
They're submitting enough of
them. Dude, it was like a string of unboxings that had a 9.9 in every one. It's like, what? I can't even get one.
I know, like Economics and Comics had like
I saw 10, that. Did he have like an 80-book submission or something?
Yeah, and he had like 10 Carnage, Black, White, and Blood second printings come back at 9.9. They must have been like brand new blade or something like that cut in the book, so they're just like perfect or something. When they were coming off the printer, maybe I don't know. That was just crazy.
Yeah.
And then if you submit, like if you're getting into like the whole, like some of the indie comics have like really high quality.
They do
paper,
they really do
cardstock, and they those you can get a 9.9 or 10 a lot easier on those. Like some of the Coffin comics, like Lady Death stuff, like I've seen those come back pretty high grade sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep. Literally what Boba Fett is saying right here. 100%. So those, or even just like some of the smaller, like the Do You Poo or Someone's Grueling the Chicken, like those kind of parody books. Source Point. Like they just have better paper, it seems like.
Right.
So and then but yeah, to kind of answer your questions, that's kind of a cop out. Well, I mentioned I have a GI Joe 1 that was a childhood gift of mine. My dad gave it to me when I was like, I think for my 8th birthday. And I later submitted it. I had it my entire life, and it got a 9.6. So I felt pretty good about
Man,
that. Like having a
that's
comic book.
fantastic. You've had it since you were 8?
Yeah, it's like so I was a very much a, even though I didn't technically wear gloves, I was very much like a wash your hands, like make sure it goes in the bag and the board, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not all my comic books from that era, but like that one I was like, oh, this is special. And it is,
Yeah.
having my dad like give it to me means a lot now. And other than that, I've said it before, I have a copy of X-Men 16 that's signed by Stan Lee, in
Oh,
its signature series. I,
nice.
I always wanted to go meet Stan Lee, and he did so many signings, and I just never got around to it or whatever, and then it's
Yeah.
too late. So, and my thing is, I wanted a book that he wrote, and I wanted it to be an X-Men book, which is really tough these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
um, so let's see. Yeah, bad idea. Yeah, bad idea. Definitely had some 9.9s for sure. Scaff just opened a couple 9.9 medals. Right on. What book was it? Do you remember, Jade?
Of course he did.
Oh, I was reading a pitch for Marvel 1602 crossover with Lord of the Rings from Mark Millar. I don't know how the masses would feel, but I thought, why not? Yeah, that'd be interesting. 1602 was definitely an interesting event too. Yeah. Oh my God. Some lucky soul has a 9.9 Clone Wars 1 signed by Hepburn. I can't imagine the value.
Wow. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
That's
What?
ridiculous.
9 Clone Wars? Are you kidding? You can't even. How do you even calculate the value of that?
Man. Yeah, so that's basically, I mean, that's probably a one of one, I mean,
Right.
um, yeah, the sentiments chat agrees. All right. Cool. Well, so I'm gonna head over and do the drawing for the super chat giveaway here as we kind of wind down. I will take a couple minutes if you guys do want to get a super chat in. You got a couple minutes, or if you want to post any final questions, Danny can be kind of monitoring chat while I gonna get that set up, hopefully,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
we'll get you guys going. Random.
Yeah, there probably aren't. Yeah, he says not sure what if there are any on like the CGC census, but it's a CBCS slab, so can't imagine there are many more of those.
Right, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm thinking like you. It sounds like a one of one to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's share this. So there is usually about a 30-second lag. So I'll kind of give, basically like 1 minute here. If you guys do want to get that final super chat in for the chance to win the book, now is your chance. Otherwise, I'll run it and we'll give it to one of these lucky folks here. Oh, interesting. That's a good question. Have you seen you probably haven't seen the Batman yet, right?
I have not, but surprisingly, I've heard nothing but good things, non-spoiler stuff that I've heard, but everybody says how great it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard really good things about it too. I'm in the same kind of boat as like what you were saying. Like, obviously with my going to see Spider-Man late, like I'm not going to be running into a packed theater. More power to people that want to do that. I'm just not going to be doing it right now.
Yeah,
For me, a lot of it is I don't enjoy doing that even before all this. I
that's
used to
what
work.
I said. I said
Yeah,
the same thing. Like even before the pandemic, I didn't like. I live in Arizona, and it's hot. People come in and they're sweaty and they smell, and it's
yep.
like, yeah, I didn't like that either pre-pandemic.
100%. Like for me, it's like I used to work in a movie theater. I was a projectionist and a theater manager and all that stuff. And
Dude, I was an usher. I used
oh,
to have to
nice, right
clean out
on.
the theater. Hated it. Like,
Yeah,
it smells so weird in there
you
after
just
a
you
packed
get so
house.
used to seeing like you probably did like the late night screenings and stuff like that, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Sometimes I would be at work until like 3 a.m. just
yeah,
trying to get all the theaters clean for the next morning.
100%. And it's just like one of those things where you just get used to, like, kind of picking and choosing and having the theater mostly to yourself and not having to like have some jerk trying to steal your armrest or whatever. And I do appreciate the theaters now that have like the, if they're not like the recliners or whatever, but those are great. But like even just more kind of cushy seats or whatever.
That's the only way I go now.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. It's so expensive, but you get all the room. You don't have to worry about anyone tripping over your feet or having to stand up to let somebody by and all that. I mean, that's the only way I movie now.
100%. 100%. See some love for the Batman. I got a question for you. Figure Drawing would like to know if you have a favorite Marvel show.
They've been coming out and I've enjoyed them all actually. So I don't know if I have one that's my favorite. I enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I actually enjoyed Loki. I know some people have mixed feelings about Loki, but I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. So I like them all. I don't really have one that's my favorite. I've been enjoying all of them.
Yeah. No, I think they've been batting pretty good on those. It's the same thing with like all of them, though. It seems like maybe this is kind of a Disney Plus problem in general. It's kind of a pacing thing because, like, I know WandaVision like started off a little slow.
Yeah, it did.
Got better, and then I'd kind of say Loki was kind of in a similar thing. Although it started out good, and then it kind of maybe dipped a little bit, and then it went right back up.
Yeah.
But yeah. A lot of people agreeing with us on theater. Ricardo likes to do the wake and bake on a Sunday morning to go to the movies. More power to you.
Right on.
As a former movie theater employee, let's just say that that stuff like that happened, and people were cool with it. We saw it all the time. The people talking. Yeah, that's a huge part of it too. People people that pull out their cell phone and they're on it, and it. They don't even like turn the brightness down. Like, come on. Like, I'm not setting like a particularly high bar here.
Right.
Fresh News would like to know what the Venom is behind you.
This one. This one here.
Yeah.
That is just that was a Clayton Crane cover, I believe. And they just made it into like a giant poster. When I bought that, to be honest, I bought it online. I had no idea it was so big. It was my first poster as I was trying to decorate the room in here. And I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is gigantic. Now I have to find an equally big poster. And I saw the Gleason one and said, okay, we'll just throw up some a Spidey wall back here. So we have some Miles Venom. Yeah.
What's the one on top there? Is that Miles too?
Yeah, that was a 1 in 50 cover. I'm actually about to change some of this out. I'm going to try to get to it this weekend. But yeah, that was a 1 in 50 cover from the current run. Yes, from the current run.
Oh, cool. Right on. Right on.
I think it was issue 1 in 50.
Cool. Azores Tiger is biased and likes all the shows too. Yeah, they're really good. I mean, like, that's the thing is I kind of feel the same way about the TV shows as I do about the movies. Whether you think they're amazing or you think they're terrible, they're at like they're going to have like a high floor, basically, is how I look at it. Like, they're not going to be terrible, generally speaking. There's a couple exceptions, but I mean, when they've done as many movies as they have, I think they're batting pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it is giveaway time. We are going to head over to the random number generator here.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. We had $70 in super chats. That means we go up to $70 on the random number generator. I'm going to hit generate 3 times, so you're going to see the number change 3 times there. The 17 is going to be where the winner is. And then if you win, and I haven't sent you something before, please shoot me like a message on Discord, a message on Instagram. You can email me. There's an about section in the channel. Email me your address so I can get that shipped out to you and sent off to you. So good luck, everybody. We're going to hit this 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. 20. This is super appropriate considering what a generous donation that this person did. I'll show you the winner is here. That was Army Vet. Army Vet was in the 20 spot there. He did a $20 super chat. So absolutely deserved it. Congratulations, Army Vet. go ahead and hit me up, whatever channel you want to hit me up through, and we'll get your address and get that shipped off to you. Thank you so much for that. Congratulations for that. And then, kind of anything else you got coming up, or any, shows you got coming up, any episodes you got coming out that people should check out on your channel or anything like that?
Yeah, I got some unboxing. I finally got a slab from Unknown Comics that I ordered like back in February of last year. So it's like an unboxing a year in the making. And yeah, like a small haul video. Yeah, so I'll be probably filming those probably tomorrow and try to drop them tomorrow or Friday. Yeah, so look out for that.
Right on, right on. I see one more question for you that I want to get to in here. It says W, but he later corrected it to Q there, so I know that's a question. Azor's Tiger would like to know what your Grail book is.
Oh, without a doubt, it's Hulk 181. I want one badly.
Yeah. It's a good Grail book to have. Probably on a lot of people's list right now. It's on mine too.
Yeah, but as a Wolverine fan, that's my guy. That is the book that I need.
Okay, so let's talk about that for 1 second before I let you go, because I'm curious about how you view this. So if Hulk 181 is your Grail book, and you said you wanted like hopefully find a raw or something like that, because you're probably gonna save a little bit of money that way, which totally makes sense. What's the lowest condition or type of whatever you'd be happy with if it's the only one you ever found that you felt like you could pull the trigger on? What's the bottom range of condition you're looking at?
Bottom range, dude, I take like a 2.5, a 3. I mean,
okay.
Hand it over.
So for me, it's like I'll go even lower. Like I'll take a 0.5. Like I don't, as long as it has a cover that's intact.
Yeah.
I guess as far as like I could see Wolverine mostly on it. Preferably, more is better, of course. I don't even care at this point, because I figure like I'll just get one and be cool with it. But yeah, I respect that. A 2.5 would be amazing.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's so many. You see these kind of like old timer collectors, if I call them, and they'll talk about like having like a short box of like Hulk 181s they sold over the years or whatever. It's like, oh my god, could you imagine?
Right. As long as it presents well, the grade can be low.
Yeah, I'll give it a quick shout out to my shop. Your shop has a 5.5. You can't afford it. So my shop is an amazing shop. It's really far away from me. It's called I Like Comics. It's in Vancouver, Washington. They at any given time they'll have like 10 graded comics of like Hulk 181, 10 X-Men ones, FF49, you name it, a couple AF15s occasionally. They don't have as many of those. They'll have those around, and it is like it's the first thing you see when you walk in, and it's like
man,
every time, like it's gorgeous, it's amazing, and it just makes you go like, they're right there.
Right, man, just one.
It taunts Jade Dragon every new comic book day. That's great. Okay, well, hey, this has been an awesome show. I do want to take an extra second to thank Dani Girl Comics for stopping by tonight and being a fantastic guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Bronze. I hope to return the favor when I start doing lives.
Sounds great. I would love to be there. We also, we'll just kind of call this a teaser. I was talking to Department of Comics through DM a little bit earlier. We might be coming back together to possibly do a giveaway at some point for something that happened over on the Discord. So kind of keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll give you more details and make sure we promote it ahead of time if that's going to happen. But that sounds like something that could be happening. That's pretty cool. So you might see more of us teaming up here at some point soon.
Love it. Love to.
Okay, and last thing, guys, I really got to urge you, go give Dani Girl Comics a subscribe on YouTube. Check out some of her content. Let's try to grow this community. Let's try to, make sure we prop up everybody that's in this space and deserves to be in this space. And I think she just runs a fantastic channel. So go check it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure. All right, everybody. We'll see you again. Probably next week. We'll try out this new time again and see how it works. And hope everybody has a great week. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.